as Quite Flows the River Rupsa. This is the opening film of the country focus section. We all know that Bangladesh is the country of focus this year in IFFI. So may I call upon stage director, Mr. Tanvir Mokammel, sir, please. We also have the editor of the film, Mr. Mahadeb Shi. Mr. Mahadeb Shi has also worked in a number of films, films of India, Bengali films, as well as films of Bangladesh. May I call upon stage Mr. Shi, sir, please. May I also call upon stage the festival director, Mr. Chaitanya Prasad, sir. Sir. We are also privileged to have here amongst us the costume director and casting director of the film, I'm sorry. Yeah. Costume designer and casting director of the film, Mrs. Chitralekha Guha. And we also have the chief assistant director of Rupsa Nodir Banke, Mr. He's also the art director, Mr. Uttam Guha. Now, to speak about the synopsis of the film, it is a film about a left-wing leader who, like a great tragic character, fought against his destiny all along his life. While portraying the man's struggle, the film deals with a number of important historical events of the subcontinent. The central character faces British Swadeshi movement, the 1947 partition of India, the Tebhaga movement of Bengal peasants, creation of Pakistan, killing of the political prisoners inside jail in Rajshahi, and finally the liberation war of Bangladesh against Pakistan in 1971. Rupsa Nodir Banke is the story of a leftist leader and his time and era. The central character's name is Manobratan Mukherjee, who was born in a decaying feudal family in Kornopara village on the banks of the Rupsa River in Khulna district. As a child, the fatherless young man was a part of the Anushilon Shomiti during the British period and later joined the leftist movement. Due to his strong role in the peasant movement, local peasant movement, the peasants used to call him Comrade Thakur. So Manobratan lived a turbulent life amidst prison torture and various struggles, first during the British rule and later during the East Pakistan period. The greatest achievement of his life was to save bighas of agricultural land for the farmers by building a dam. And his most horrible experience was being an eyewitness to the shooting of inmates in Khapra jail ward at Rajshahi in 1950 during the East Pakistan period. Now this is about the movie. Speaking about the director, he's a highly acclaimed filmmaker of Bangladesh who has won the Ekushe Padok. So am I right? Yeah. Ekushe Padok and the National Award of Bangladesh for 10 times for his films, for his acclaimed films like Nodin Nam Modhumati. It's a 1995 film and the title translates into English as The River Named Madhumati. Chitra Nodir Pare, 1999 film. It translates into Quite Flows the River Chitra. And Lal Shalu in 2001, which translates into English as The Tree Without Roots. He is also currently the director of Bangladesh Film Institute in Dhaka. Editor Mahadeb Shi is a graduate of Film Institute FTII in Pune. His acclaimed works include Shrimanto Rekha, a 2017 documentary film, Shesh Songbad, The Last News of 2016, Onuranon, which is an Indian Bengali film of 2006. And pardon me, I forgot to mention that Sir has won National Film Award once in Bangladesh. Sir, you have won the National Film Award 10 times. Yes.
You have mentioned that.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Please pardon me. Okay, speaking about the casting director and costume director, Chitralekha Guha, She has won the National Film Award of Bangladesh once and worked in a number of films with her. And she's a reputed actress as well. And and the Chief Assistant Director is also a winner of National Film Award in Bangladesh.
For 9 times.
Oh, okay. For 9 times. I'm sorry. I got... So before we hear the opening remarks from the director himself, let me inform that we are taking online questions. This is being streamed. This press conference is being streamed in PIB India YouTube channel, and we are also taking online questions. So now over to you, sir, for the opening remarks about the film.
Thank you, Sriyanka Chakraborty, and thank you all. I thank IFFI for inviting myself and my film unit. It's an immense pleasure to be in Goa. And we are more happy because this year, as you know, that Bangladesh is the country of focus, and we thank IFFI for that. And which could have been a befitting year, because this is the 50th year of the liberation of Bangladesh, and also the 50th year of the diplomatic relations between India and Bangladesh. So we are very happy to be here, and this focus on Bangladesh. You know that 2 of our films will be shown, Quite Close the River Rupsa and the drama Jibon Dhuli. You all are most welcome to watch those films, and more or less the same unit, we have made the film few years back. That is also on the backdrop of Bangladesh Liberation War. So Rupsa Nodir Banke, you can say that this is a film about a star-crossed left-wing leader. He had all the dedications, he had all the qualities, but time was against him. He was running against the tide, and that's why, as she mentioned, that to me, myself, he was kind of a Greek tragic character, that whose fall was inevitable, but not any fault of his own. So he was killed in he participated in the Swadeshi movement against the British. He was serving poor people during the famine in 1943, tried to resist the riots in 1946-47, then the creation of Pakistan came. Then there was inhuman torture on the leftist people and progressive people during the Pakistan era. And one of the worst examples, there was jail killing, which is supposed to be the most safe place for an inmate. There in 1957, left-wing people were killed in Rajshahi jail, which is a historical fact, and he happened to be witness there. So he went through all these harrowing experiences, and then in 1971, then he was almost an old man, he was murdered by the Islamic fundamentalists, and there the film ends. So it's a biopic, but fictional biopic. Thank you very much. So now you are free to ask questions.
Before we take questions, I request the festival director, Mr. Chaitanya Prasad, for his kind remarks.
Good afternoon. I won't take much of your time, but I'll only like to say that IFFI is extremely honored and privileged to have this country focus segment from Bangladesh. This proves very auspicious for us because of the 50 years of diplomatic relations between India and Bangladesh. It also presents another facet of South Asian identity, where you have bridging of relations, you have a kind of a new collaborative network which is coming out through the medium of cinema, and most importantly that we are trying to build a bridge of excellence through cinema post-pandemic. So this is something which will go down in history, and the quality, I happened to watch the opening film for half an hour because I had something else to do. It was quite a moving film, and especially the recitation of the poem and the song in the beginning. I won't give you more secrets, but it is something that you have to watch yourself. Extremely moving. So if somebody who's not been introduced to movies from Bangladesh, I think this is a wonderful occasion to understand how filmmaking has no boundaries in terms of presenting theme, content, ideas, And I'm sure this initiative of ours will take the whole relationship of cultural integration between the two countries through the medium of cinema. Thank you very much, sir, for being here and giving us an opportunity to showcase
Thank you very
films
much,
from
Mr.
Bangladesh.
Director. Thank you very much.
So now let us open the floor for questions. And please introduce yourself before asking the question. So who will ask the first question? Yes, sir, please.
Hello. Yeah. So one thing I just want to talk about this film, this film is very much relevant for this festival also because the theme is very common, the story also very much common story of India also. And one interesting aspect of Tanvir's filmmaking, we have been working for the last 20 years together. I've edited all his films, documentary, feature films. Maybe we have a similar kind of ideology, we believe in certain kind of values and all. So what is interesting that Tanvir makes film about the common people, and he actually talks about the good things, what are the good things about the humanity, about the basic things about humility, people's humility, which we are forgetting, in the name of modernization, we have certain values we have slowly just forgetting. So Tanvir actually highlights those things. Those things are very important even in today's context also. So I feel also very happy to work, the kind of film he makes. So that's how we have paired up quite and he's the only director, that I have edited all his work. So I'm very happy that this film has got selected.
I'm also very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have an online question from a journalist in Calcutta, Shiladitya Sen from Anandabajar Potrika. The question is, the central character of your film is an ideal communist. How did he match his ideology with the liberation war of Bangladesh?
I don't see any contradiction because East Bengal, East Pakistan, during Pakistan era, was an oppressed nationality. A nation when it is suppressed and it has all the right to be emancipated, to be liberated. And if we were familiar with the literature of Lenin, he wrote volumes, even a booklet also, the rights of self-determination of the religious minorities, small ethnicities, different nationalities, and which, not only wrote, he also made it possible when they created the Soviet Union. So I don't see any contradiction between the nationalist aspirations of Bangladeshi people and the Marxist-Leninist ideas. It's going in the almost same direction. But you can say, of course, the nationalist movements are normally led by middle-class, national bourgeoisie, or people who are more intelligent, more well-educated. Unfortunately, farmers and workers are not that much. But there is no interest in farmers and workers or Marxist people to be part of a bourgeois state system. And it is more preferable for them to a state which is more led by a middle strata of the society who are somehow organically rooted with the soil, with the common people. And Pakistan was totally an artificial country, artificially created country. It had no root in the society, no root with the farmers and peasants of that country. So they had no interest, they had no gain out of it. And that has been proved again and again. People became poorer and more poorer. East Bengal was never a poor country. It was Sonar Bangla once, Then British and the Pakistanis, they made it so poor. So, but now if you visit Bangladesh, you'll find that, yeah, there is a lot of economic activities, even some affluence has been coming, all because the country was liberated. And everyone is beneficiary. It's not only the national bourgeois or the middle class, even the workers and farmers and the sons are benefited. So liberation of Bangladesh is a step forward towards to the achievement of the goals that workers and farmers also want in their lives.
Thank you, sir. The next question is your thoughts about Soumitra Chatterjee, the late Soumitra Chatterjee, an icon for both sides of Bengal.
I see. He was an extraordinary person. Of course, everybody will say that he was an extraordinary artist because you've all seen his films. But I have seen the person as a human being also. We are quite close to some extent. So I think he was an artist up to his bone. It was not that suddenly Satyajit Ray discovered him for his good looks and he became a star overnight. No, there are so many people who have such good looks. But Soumitra Chatterjee is really one of. He prepared himself, he made himself, he built his all the characters. He had only one issue, and I remember once he told me, actually he told me twice, that my problem is that I can't come up with the Oppo image. But that was almost 15 years, 20 years back when I was also young. But then I later found he did so many different characters, and with the age, he so much mellowed and matured and made himself and all variegated characters he did. And those characters had nothing to do with the early Oppo image. And I told him that, no, Soumitra, you have very well come up with the Oppo Shongshar image. Now you are not a goody-goody middle-class Bengali boy anymore. You are doing all kind of roles. And he appreciated very much. You understood it. Great. I'm so happy. I always wanted to do that. So that is my take on Satyajit Ray. And very difficult, Soumitra Rai, very difficult to talk about a person you know for 30 years. So I'm afraid I maybe not be objective enough, but to me, he's a great, great actor. And West Bengal and Bengali cinema has lost a real icon. And it's very sad. And 2020 years will always remember as a sad year of our lives. Thank you.
I'll just add something to it, because I have worked with him personally, many films. So I have edited films he has acted, many television programs, like we have sat together, discussed a lot of times, we only know him as a film actor, but also, he was also a very good theatre actor. He did a lot of plays, he in fact directed also. And he was a poet and he was a painter also. So he was a multi-talented people actually. Yeah, and also he was a very good recitator, his voice was like this. His main thing of his, very good quality of his voice. See, what is good about, I'm a very small person to talk about him, but still, whatever worst, at this age, I've seen him while he's walking at the age of 70, his dedication and seriousness, even for a, new director, he's so serious about his acting, about his work, and he'll come, even before the shooting time, if there's a shooting time at 10 o'clock, call time, he'll be there at 9:30, And he'll be ready with his dialogue, everything. You don't have to probably go for a second take. He is very, very serious, even at this age. And very meticulous about the thing. He is definitely one of the best actor India has produced. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This year in IFFI, IFFI is paying homage to Soumitra Chatterjee, along with a number of stalwarts whom we have lost recently. And in connection with Soumitra Chatterjee, obviously, Satyajit Ray's name comes. So, sir, your thoughts on Satyajit Ray?
Yeah, you can tell volumes about him, because we grew up watching his films from our younger days, and especially during our film society days. When I was too young, during the Pakistan time, it was not possible very much to watch Satyajit films. But when we Bangladesh became liberated and it became possible to watch films from India. So, of course, you can imagine how enthusiastically we jumped into Satyajit Ray. And during university days, we were film society activists. So we not only watched his films, we wrote about those films. We organized seminars, workshops, everything on his films. So I think there are so many things one can say about Satyajit Ray. He was a Renaissance man. And he was a Renaissance man, and he had all the Renaissance qualities. He was a filmmaker, he was a very talented writer, both in English and Bengali, very articulate speaker. And I've been in press conferences and abroad. I have noticed how he handles the media and anybody who comes. He's so articulate and so clear in his thought, a real Renaissance qualities. And he was a painter, a great artist as well. So how much thing you can expect from a man? He's our Bengal's Da Vinci, you can say, who could at the same time draw, make designs, make everything. So this kind of people comes once in an age, We won't get another Satyajit Ray, we won't get any other Tagore. We will get sure very good filmmakers in future also, I'm sure, but not one as Satyajit Ray as a human being. And besides, he was a great humanist. He didn't bother about much idealisms, ideas, political ideas. You think that those times when you walked, 60s, 70s, were very turbulent times in Indian history all over the world. ideas, leftist ideas became popular. Then again, it went down little bit to bit. And all things were happening around him. Calcutta was a very vibrant city at that time. You can imagine if you see the works of the other filmmakers of the time, you see how politically they were moved up and down all the time. But Satyajit Ray kept his calm. He watched society and life as a real artist. He went below the surface. He went deep inside. And, the political waves comes and goes, but humanity remains. And he went to reach out to the core of humanity. That's why he could create a Opus trilogy. That's why he could create a Charulata. And all his films you mentioned, Kanchenjunga, brilliant films. So he was a humanist par excellence, as an artist should be. And he was an exquisitely skilled artist. Just imagine his first film, Pather Pachali, when you look back. I teach cinema now, we have a small film institute. And what films we use as text films? Of course, Satyajit Ray films. We show Pather Pachali, say shot to shot, say how accurate a filmmaking can be. Every shot is well designed. Every shot division is done on paper. A student can learn, if he just follows Satyajit Ray's method of working, he will never make any mistake in his films. But unfortunately, this is not in fashion to follow Satyajit Ray. But I'm sad about it because there are a lot of enthusiastic supporters of other filmmakers in India. No harm in that. There are a lot of enthusiasm about Satyajit Ray. That's very good. But there is not much keenness to follow him, to learn from him. And that is we, the South Asian filmmakers, have to do that. I'm talking about South Asian because the social milieu Satyajit Ray dealt with is same with us. So even his stories, his Opus Shangshar, when Opus went to, where did he went when he married? He went to Khulna, my district from Bangladesh. And so all the landscapes, the same river, Bhairab River, which little down came the name as Rupsa, which my film's name is. So we deal with the same geography, same locale, same society, same human beings. Maybe religion might be different, but that's not a big issue in the world of art. So we'll always have to get back to Satyajit Ray again. Another things I would say, so many things we can talk about him. Nature. Who portrayed nature better than Satyajit Ray? Not only in Bengali cinema, in world cinema. I can tell it I'm very positive about it. Except in Renoir. You'll never find any stalwart in world cinema who have dealt so much with nature and so beautifully presented Bengal nature, Indian nature to the world. We are very grateful to them. Through Satyajit Ray's lenses, we understood how beautiful our country is. We are not aware of that before even. So nature, his approach towards women, very progressive, very modern man, much modern than any so-called we modern men. He looked women as a human being first, then as a woman. Most of our artists, most of our writers make a huge mistake. They make a woman as a kind of a separate category, and then make all the mistakes of, belittling her or not understanding her at all. So women are human beings first, and in cinema it is Satyajit Ray. Just imagine the characters he dealt with: Indit Thakur, Durga, Charulata, Bimola. I can say names like 20 names. Each woman is a human being first. Then she is what she is. So this is something new in Indian subculture. Because of our mythology is different, our religion, everything. We say we deal with women, something's coming from Mars or something special category, and then make all kind of mistakes. And these are all, they all are meant more or less to exploit women more, psychologically and other ways. So Satyajit Ray is a very modern man, a Renaissance man, a humanist person, and a great artist. So I think we all the time we learn from him. I also every day I learn from him as a filmmaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And as you were saying, so who other than Satyajit Ray as a filmmaker inspires you?
Globally or the subcontinent?
Globally, or Indian filmmaker you would like to
Globally, I won't say much because there are so many, so it will be just a long list of names. But filmmakers you are familiar with, let me tell you, of course, Hrithik Ghatak, another stalwart from our subcontinent. And we are very proud as a Bengali that we have produced two of the giants of world cinema in Bengal, Satyajit Ray and Hrithik Ghatak. Two are completely with different temperaments, two kinds of artists. We always had this kind of artists: the rebel, the Ritik Ghatok, the artist with immense depth and look life more optimistically, Shotu's Ray. So these two kind of artists are always there in the world. And if you ask me, really, it might be a dream. It should be a dream for every Bengali filmmaker or any filmmaker. If I could have another actor, so 3 actors. So that solved the problem a bit. But another thing is, this kind of films, one of the challenges, of course, is research. You need a huge research of the historical events and what really happened. So not only book research, you need physical research. You have to visit those places. So, for example, where the shooting took place inside jail, how can I imagine how the jail inside was jail was? So I had to be there. I have to see how situation, how things work. So the research was a huge thing, and other things already mentioned: the set, the props, or the dress. That is a problem. Any filmmaker who makes a period film, you all know what is period film, is the time which is past. So that they have to, any unit has to do it. I am very grateful that we have two excellent person, the couple. Chitralekha Guha looks after that dress. So all the which 30s, what kind of dresses were used to be used in 40s, 50s, 70s, the women dresses, men dresses. And which class of people you are talking about? Middle class use one kind of dresses, the working people, farmers, peasants use another kind of. Then Uttam Guho, our art director, he is very good in making sets and props. Normally we avoid set making. One is that budget. We don't have enough money to make, these are very low budget productions, almost shoestring budget productions. So we cannot afford to make huge sets. Simply we cannot afford. And other, I don't believe in sets also, because whatever well made, we are not gods. So there is always some artificiality there. You can feel it in the pattern of the texture of the walls or the lighting. So it's very difficult to imitate God or make world like God himself. So I rather prefer outdoor shooting, nature. So this is mostly shot in outdoor. Very rare we used indoor. And props, another challenge. All the props, props, film with everything, glass, these and that, cycles. So that you have to research and find what kind of utensils people used during those days. That requires some research, but it's possible. All filmmakers do it, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. So with this, the press conference comes to an end. Thank you, sir. Thanks, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, I think you didn't ask anything about Bangladeshi cinema, or you're not interested, or
oh yes,
Indo
we would love to know, sir. Sir, please say.
Because
Can I just say one thing, sir?
yeah.
I think we were lost in your masterclass of Satyajit Ray and his work. No, it was absolutely marvelous, if I can say. Everyone heard it with rapt attention. How you took us into your journey with Satyajit Ray, Soumitra Chatterjee, it was amazing. And I can say that for everyone. I hope everyone agrees. No, the way it was like, it was emotion and content being woven together to present a man who no time or scale can match. As you rightly said, there is no Satyajit Ray, there can be no Soumitra Chatterjee. So it was like reliving those moments live. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The movie they have to enjoy, to go and see it themselves. That's what I said.